Rose Williams stood outside Central Trust Bank on a freezing Monday morning. She was 70 years old. Her hands shook as she held a torn plastic bag. Her coat had holes in it. Her shoes were so old they had tape holding them together. Her hair was messy and gray. She looked like she had nowhere to live. She looked like she had nothing. But that was exactly what Rose wanted. You see, Rose Williams was not homeless. She was not poor. She was not helpless. Rose Williams was one of the richest women in America. She owned $2 billion. And more importantly, she owned this bank. Every brick, every window, every desk and chair inside. It all belonged to her. Rose had started this bank 50 years ago with just one small office and a dream. She wanted to help people who had nothing. People who looked just like she did right now. Poor people. Struggling people. People that other banks turned away. That was her promise when she opened the doors for the first time. Help everyone, no matter what they look like. But lately, Rose had heard rumors. Bad rumors. People told her that some employees at her bank were mean to poor customers. They said workers laughed at people who did not have nice clothes. They said some customers were treated like garbage. Rose did not want to believe it. But she needed to know the truth. So she made a plan. She would dress up like a homeless woman and visit her own bank. She would see with her own eyes how her workers treated people who looked poor. Now here she was, standing outside in her disguise, ready for her test. Rose took a deep breath. The cold air hurt her lungs. She pushed open the heavy glass door and walked inside. The bank was beautiful. Shiny marble floors. Big windows with sunlight streaming through. Fancy desks made of dark wood. Rose remembered picking out every detail when they built this place. She had wanted it to feel welcoming. Like everyone belonged here. But the moment she walked in, she did not feel welcome at all. A young woman with blonde hair sat at the main desk. Her name tag said Stephanie. She was 25 years old and dressed in an expensive suit. Stephanie looked up at Rose. Her face changed immediately. Her smile disappeared. Her nose wrinkled up like she smelled something bad. "Get security," Stephanie said loudly to another worker. Her voice was cold and mean. "We have a beggar in here. She is going to scare away the real customers." Rose felt her heart break a little. But she kept walking forward. Her old shoes squeaked on the shiny floor. Other customers turned to stare at her. Some looked away quickly. Others whispered to each other. "Please," Rose said quietly. Her voice sounded weak and tired. "I just need to take some money out of my account." A young man named Kevin laughed out loud. He was 23 years old with slicked back hair and a smirk on his face. "Take money out of where?" he said. "The garbage dump? Look at her. She probably does not even know what a bank account is." The third worker, a woman named Patricia, shook her head. She did not even look at Rose. She just kept typing on her computer like Rose was invisible. "Call the police," Patricia said to Stephanie. "These homeless people are getting too brave. They think they can just walk in anywhere now." Rose stood very still. She looked around the bank. She looked at every face. Every person. She saw how they looked at her. Some people seemed embarrassed. But nobody said anything to help her. Nobody told the workers to stop being mean. This was her bank. She had built it with her own hands and her own money. She had worked day and night for 50 years to make it successful. And now her own employees were treating a poor old woman like trash. The security guard walked over. He was a big man with a kind face. He looked uncomfortable. "Ma'am," he said gently, "I think you need to leave. This is not the place for you." "But I am a customer," Rose said. Her voice was still quiet, but something changed. There was power in her words now. Strength. "I have had an account here for 50 years. Stephanie burst out laughing. 50 years? She said. She can barely count to 10. "Auntie, go find a shelter. This bank is for people who work. People who have money. Kevin pulled out his phone. He started recording. Look everyone, he said, probably making a video for social media. Another homeless person trying to get free money. This is why we need better security. Rose felt anger building inside her chest. But she stayed calm. She had learned long ago that the best revenge is patience. Let people show you who they really are. Then deal with them. Very well, Rose said slowly. She turned around. I will take care of this a different way. As she walked toward the door, Stephanie shouted after her. And do not come back, old woman. Next time we really will call the police. The glass door closed behind Rose with a soft sound. But inside her head, it sounded like thunder. Like a storm coming. Rose stood on the sidewalk outside. Cars drove past. People hurried by without looking at her. Nobody saw her. To the world, she was just another forgotten old woman. But Rose Williams was not forgotten. And she was about to remind everyone exactly who she was. She reached into her torn coat. Her fingers found her phone. It was the newest, most expensive model. She had 500 important contacts saved in it. Business partners, lawyers, politicians, people who ran companies and countries. Rose scrolled through her contacts. She found the name she needed. Marcus Chen. He was her personal lawyer and her most trusted friend. He had worked with her for 30 years. She pressed call. Marcus answered on the first ring. Rose, he said. His voice was worried. Are you okay? You sound different. I am fine, Rose said. But I need you to come to the Central Trust Bank on Madison Avenue right now. Bring the termination papers. The blank ones. There was silence on the other end. Then Marcus said, What happened? Rose looked through the bank window. Inside, she could see Stephanie, Kevin, and Patricia. They were laughing together. Celebrating. Acting out how Rose had walked. Making fun of her hunched back. Her torn clothes. Her shaking hands. They were having the time of their lives. They thought they had won. They had no idea that the storm was coming. Let me just say, Rose told Marcus, that some people are about to learn the most expensive lesson of their lives. Marcus Chin sat in his office when Rose called. He could hear something in her voice. Something dangerous. In 30 years of working together, he had learned to recognize that tone. Someone had made a terrible mistake. I will be there in 15 minutes, Marcus said. He grabbed his briefcase. Inside were folders that could end careers with just a signature. He had a feeling he would need them today. Across the street from the bank, Rose found a bench. She sat down slowly, still playing her part as a tired homeless woman. From here, she had a perfect view through the bank windows. She could see everything happening inside. Stephanie was on her phone now. She was texting someone, laughing as she typed. Every few seconds, she would look up and say something to Kevin and Patricia. They would all laugh together. Rose knew they were talking about her, making jokes, having fun at her expense. Kevin had posted his video already. Rose could see him showing his phone to other employees. More people gathered around to watch. Some covered their mouths, trying not to laugh too loud. Others shook their heads, but they were smiling. Nobody looked upset about what had happened. Nobody thought it was wrong. A well-dressed man walked into the bank. He wore an expensive suit and shiny shoes. Stephanie's whole face changed when she saw him. Her smile became bright and friendly. She stood up immediately. "Good morning, sir," Stephanie said warmly. "How can I help you today?" Her voice was sweet like honey. Nothing like the cold, mean voice she had used with Rose. Rose watched this and felt her heart grow heavy. So this was how her bank worked now. Treat rich people like kings. Treat poor people like dirt. Everything she had built. Everything she had dreamed about. It had all been forgotten. A young mother walked in next. She had 2 small children with her. Their clothes were clean but old. The woman looked nervous. She kept fixing her hair and straightening her shirt. Rose could tell she did not have much money. She was probably worried about being judged. The security guard watched the woman carefully. His hand moved to his radio, like he was ready to call for backup. Like a poor mother with 2 babies was dangerous. The woman walked up to Kevin's desk. "Excuse me," she said softly. "I need to ask about a loan. For my small business." Kevin barely looked at her. He kept typing on his computer. "What kind of business?" he asked. His voice was bored. "A bakery," the woman said. Her face lit up when she talked about it. "I make cakes and bread. People in my neighborhood love them. But I need money to buy better equipment." Kevin finally looked up. He looked at her old clothes, her worn shoes, her children holding onto her hands. He looked at her the same way Stephanie had looked at Rose. "We do not really do those kinds of loans," Kevin said. He said it like the woman had asked for $1 million. "Maybe try somewhere else." "But I have been saving money here for 5 years," the woman said. She sounded desperate now. "I have a good account. I always pay my bills on time." Patricia leaned over from her desk. She whispered something to Kevin. They both looked at the woman and her children. Then they looked at each other and smiled. Not a nice smile. A mean smile. "Listen," Kevin said. "This bank serves serious business people, not little hobby shops. Why do you not go home and think about it more?" The woman's face fell. Her shoulders dropped. She looked like she might cry. Her children looked up at her with big worried eyes. They knew something was wrong. They knew their mother was sad. "Come on, babies," the woman whispered. "Let us go." Rose watched them leave. The children held their mother's hands tight. The woman kept her head down, trying to hide her tears. The glass door closed behind them. Inside the bank, Kevin and Patricia high-fived each other. "Saved us from another bad loan," Kevin said proudly. Rose's hands squeezed tight into fists. The anger inside her was growing bigger and bigger, like a volcano ready to explode. But she stayed still. Stayed quiet. She needed to see more. She needed to know exactly who these people were before she acted. An old man walked in next. He was maybe 80 years old. He moved slowly with a cane. His clothes were neat and clean, but very old. He had probably worn the same jacket for 20 years. Stephanie saw him coming. She rolled her eyes at Kevin and Patricia. "Oh no," she said loud enough for everyone to hear. "Another old person who does not understand computers. This is going to take forever." The old man reached the desk. He was breathing hard from the walk. "Excuse me, young lady," he said politely. "I need help checking my account balance. My computer at home is broken." "Do you have your account number?" Stephanie asked. She did not look at him. She was looking at her fingernails. "I have my card," the old man said. He pulled out a bank card with shaking hands. It took him a moment to get it out of his wallet. His fingers did not work as well as they used to. Stephanie sighed loudly. "This is why we have online banking," she said. "So people do not have to come in for every little thing." "I am sorry," the old man said. He looked embarrassed. "I am not good with technology. I just need to know if my pension check came in." Kevin laughed from his desk. "Pension check," he said to Patricia. "Remember when people actually got those?" The old man heard him. His face turned red. But he did not say anything. He just stood there, waiting. Waiting to be helped. Waiting to be treated with respect. Waiting for someone to care. Finally, Stephanie typed something into her computer. "Yes, your money is there," she said quickly. "Anything else?" "No, thank you," the old man said quietly. He put his card away with those shaking hands. "Thank you for your time." "Have a day," Stephanie said. She did not even say have a good day. Just have a day. Like she could not wait for him to leave. Rose watched the old man walk out. He moved so slowly. Each step looked painful. And nobody inside that bank cared. They just wanted him gone so they could get back to their phones and their jokes and their important work helping rich people. A black car pulled up outside. Rose recognized it immediately. It was Marcus. He stepped out wearing his sharp lawyer suit. He carried his briefcase in one hand. In that briefcase were the termination papers Rose had asked for. Marcus walked over to Rose's bench. He looked at her disguise and shook his head sadly. He had known Rose long enough to understand what she was doing. And why? How bad is it? Marcus asked, sitting down next to her. Worse than I imagined, Rose said. Her voice was thick with emotion. Marcus, I built this bank to help people. To lift them up. To give them chances that nobody else would give them. I know, Marcus said gently. And look at it now, Rose continued. She pointed at the window. They treat poor people like garbage. They mock old people. They laugh at struggling mothers. This is not what I created. This is not my dream. Marcus put his hand on her shoulder. What do you want to do? Rose stood up slowly. She brushed off her torn coat. I want to go back in there, she said. And I want to show them who I really am. Are you sure? Marcus asked. You could just fire them from here. Send them letters. You do not have to face them again. Rose looked at him with fire in her eyes. Oh, I am very sure, she said. They humiliated people right in front of me. They need to know that every person who walks through those doors matters. Rich or poor, young or old, well-dressed or in rags. Everyone deserves respect. Marcus opened his briefcase. He pulled out 3 folders. Each one had a name on it. Stephanie Morrison, Kevin Park, Patricia Hughes. Inside each folder was a termination letter. Blank. Waiting to be filled out. Let us go teach them a lesson, Marcus said. Rose and Marcus walked toward the bank together. Through the window, Rose could see Stephanie laughing at something on her phone. Kevin was eating a sandwich at his desk, not caring that customers were waiting. Patricia was filing her nails. They had no idea what was coming. They had no idea that the homeless woman they had mocked was walking back through that door. They had no idea that their entire world was about to change. Rose's hand touched the door handle. Her heart was beating fast. Not from fear. From justice. From the knowledge that sometimes bad people need to learn that their actions have consequences. The glass door opened. Rose walked inside. Marcus followed right behind her. And everything was about to change. Stephanie saw Rose walk back in. Her mouth dropped open. Then she started laughing. She actually started laughing. You again? Stephanie said loudly. I told you not to come back. Kevin, call the police. This crazy homeless woman does not understand English. Kevin reached for his phone. But then he stopped. He saw the man in the expensive suit walking in behind Rose. Marcus Chin looked like money. His suit probably cost more than Kevin made in a month. His shoes were shined so bright they reflected the lights. Who are you? Patricia asked Marcus. Her voice was much nicer now. She sat up straight in her chair. Marcus did not answer her. He walked right past all 3 employees. He walked to the manager's office at the back of the bank. The door said Manager Lisa Thompson. Marcus knocked twice, then opened it without waiting. Excuse me, Patricia said, standing up. You cannot just walk back there. But Marcus was already inside. Through the glass walls, everyone could see him talking to Lisa, the bank manager. Lisa's face went white. She stood up so fast her chair rolled backward. She looked through the glass at Rose standing in the lobby. Then she looked at Marcus. Then back at Rose. Something was happening. Something big. All the employees could feel it. The whole bank got quiet. Even the customers stopped talking. Lisa walked out of her office. She was 40 years old and had been manager for 5 years. She walked straight to Rose. Her hands were shaking. Mrs. Williams, Lisa said. Her voice cracked. I had no idea you were coming today. If I had known. Stephanie's face changed. Her smile disappeared. "Mrs. Williams?" she whispered. That could not be right. This was just some homeless woman. Some nobody. Rose looked at Lisa. "I did not want you to know," Rose said clearly. Her voice was different now. Stronger. Powerful. "I wanted to see how my employees treat people when they think nobody important is watching." The security guard's face went pale. He suddenly remembered being told to throw Rose out. His hands started sweating. "Your employees?" Kevin said. He laughed nervously. "What do you mean, your employees?" Marcus stepped forward. He opened his briefcase. "Let me explain," he said. His voice was cold as ice. "This is Rose Williams. She founded Central Trust Bank 50 years ago. She owns this bank. Every wall, every desk, every computer you are using. She is your boss. Actually, she is your boss's boss's boss." The color drained from Stephanie's face. "No," she whispered. "That is not possible." Rose reached into her torn coat. She pulled out her phone. The newest model. The one that cost more than Stephanie's car. She unlocked it and held it up. On the screen was her bank account. Central Trust Bank. The balance showed $2,300,000,000. "I came here today dressed as a homeless woman," Rose said. She spoke to everyone in the bank now. Not just the employees. All the customers were watching too. "I came here to test something. I had heard rumors that some of my employees were treating poor people badly. I wanted to see if it was true." She walked slowly toward Stephanie's desk. With each step, she stood up straighter. The hunched shoulders disappeared. The weak voice got stronger. The scared old woman was gone. In her place stood a billionaire. A woman who had built an empire. "And what did I find?" Rose continued. "I found employees who mocked me. Who called me names. Who threatened to call the police on me. Who told me I did not belong in my own bank." "I am sorry," Stephanie said quickly. Tears filled her eyes. "I did not know. If I had known it was you." Rose held up her hand. "Stop," she said. "That is exactly the problem. You are only sorry because you found out who I am. But what about all the other people? What about the real homeless people who come in here? What about the poor mothers trying to start businesses? What about the old people who need help?" Stephanie opened her mouth, but no words came out. Rose turned to Kevin. "You recorded a video of me," she said. "You posted it online to make fun of me. Do you remember what you wrote? These homeless people need to learn their place." Kevin's hands shook. "I will delete it right now," he said frantically. "I am so sorry, Mrs. Williams. Please." "And you," Rose said, looking at Patricia. "You did not even look at me. You just told them to call the police. Like I was trash. Like I was nothing." Patricia started crying. "Please," she begged. "I need this job. I have bills to pay." Rose felt no sympathy. "Do you know what I heard today?" she asked. "I heard you and Kevin celebrating after you turned away a young mother who wanted a loan for her bakery business. You high-fived each other. Like rejecting her dreams was funny." "We were just trying to protect the bank's money," Kevin said desperately. "No," Rose said firmly. "You were being cruel. That woman had saved money here for 5 years. She paid her bills on time. She just needed a chance. And you laughed at her." Marcus stepped forward. He placed 3 folders on Stephanie's desk. One for each employee. Each folder had a termination letter inside. "Your employment at Central Trust Bank is over," Marcus said. "Effective immediately. Please," Stephanie sobbed. "Give us another chance. We will change. We will do better." Rose looked at her coldly. "I gave you a chance," she said. "I gave you a job at a bank that was built to help people. I trusted you to treat every customer with respect. And you failed." Lisa, the manager, spoke up. "Mrs. Williams, I take full responsibility. I should have been watching them more carefully. I should have known this was happening. Rose nodded. You should have, she said. You will not be fired, Lisa. But you will be demoted. Starting tomorrow, you will work at the front desk, where you can see every customer interaction, where you can remember why this bank exists. Lisa nodded, tears running down her face. Yes, Mrs. Williams. Thank you for the second chance. Rose turned back to Stephanie, Kevin, and Patricia. You three will leave now, she said. Security will escort you out. You will pack your personal items and go. You will not be allowed to say goodbye to anyone. You will receive your final paychecks by mail. The security guard stepped forward. This time, he was not escorting out a helpless homeless woman. He was escorting out 3 people who had forgotten basic human kindness. As they walked toward the door, Rose called out one more time. And one more thing, she said. Everyone in the bank turned to listen. I want you to remember this day. I want you to remember that you never know who someone really is just by looking at them. That homeless person could be a billionaire in disguise. Or they could just be someone who fell on hard times. Either way, they deserve respect. They deserve kindness. Because at the end of the day, we are all just people. The 3 former employees walked out the door. Their heads hung low. Their careers destroyed. Their reputations ruined. All because they had been cruel to someone they thought did not matter. Rose watched them go. Then she turned to Marcus. Call that young mother who was here earlier, she said. The one with the bakery. Tell her I want to personally approve her loan. Tell her to come back tomorrow. Marcus smiled. Already done, he said. I got her information from the system. I called her while you were talking. She starts getting her loan papers tomorrow. Rose smiled for the first time that day. Good, she said. Then she turned to all the other employees in the bank. They stood frozen, watching everything happen. Let this be a lesson to all of you, Rose said. This bank was built on a simple idea. Help people. All people. Rich or poor. Black or white. Young or old. Well-dressed or in rags. Everyone who walks through that door is important. Everyone deserves your respect. The employees nodded. Some were crying. All of them understood. They had just witnessed something they would never forget. Rose walked to the door. But before she left, she took off her torn coat. Underneath, she wore a beautiful dress. She had been ready to reveal herself all along. She took off the messy wig. Her real hair was styled perfectly underneath. She looked like who she really was. A powerful businesswoman. A billionaire. A woman who had changed the world. As Rose walked out into the sunshine, she felt lighter. She had cleaned her bank. She had protected future customers. She had taught a lesson that would spread through every branch. And somewhere across town, a young mother with 2 children got a phone call that would change her life. Her bakery would open. Her dreams would come true. All because one woman cared enough to fight for what was right. That night, the story spread across the city. The video Kevin had posted got taken down, but not before people's screen recorded it. They shared what really happened. How 3 bank employees mocked their own boss. How they lost everything because they were cruel. The story became a lesson. A reminder. A warning. Treat everyone with kindness. Because you never know who they might really be. And even if they are nobody special. Even if they really are just a homeless person with nothing. They still deserve your respect. They still deserve your humanity. Because that is what makes us human. Not our money. Not our clothes. Not our jobs or our houses or our cars. What makes us human is how we treat each other. Especially how we treat people who have less than us. Rose Williams understood that. She had always understood it. That is why she built a bank in the first place. That is why she spent 50 years helping people. And that is why, even at 70 years old, she still fought for what was right.